Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and I'll be going over episode 17 of Gundam Witch from Mercury titled Precious Things. So before I go over this episode, I have two announcements. The first one is that currently there will be no episode next week for Gundam Witch from Mercury, as there will be kind of like a recap episode. So if next week is May 14th, then we'll continue again with episode 18 starting May 21st. So just for your awareness, in case if you don't know. And the second announcement is that just a small reminder that if you want to talk about Gundam Witch from Mercury with like-minded people, then you could just join my Discord server found in the YouTube description. So yeah, feel free to join if that interests you. All right, and now that got out of the way, we'll get started. So in the beginning, we pretty much have Lady Prospera telling Miorine to become the next president of the Mercury group, right? But she says that's impossible, I can never be president. But then Prospera goads her and says that you just said that you won't let me have my way with Suletta anymore. Have you given up? And then you can see Miorine doesn't give up. And she says, kind of falls for it, right? And she says, I'll take over your precious quiet zero, right? And in a way, indirectly saying that she'll become president too. And then you can see that that's good. And then that'll make Miorine's father happy. But you better promise that you won't involve Suletta more, right? Of course. But please allow Suletta and Ariel to take part in one more duel. One more. That way this will be the last. Still, will that girl really give up to Ariel so easily, right? So then it just shows how much Suletta relies on Ariel to like a detriment in a way. Then we get the title card after screen opening. Precious things, right? You see that Miorine here is waking up. And I don't really know why they have these like little bags attached to them. In this way, it's kind of weird. But I find it a little bit dorky looking, but there's probably some sort of practical use, I guess. Then you can see that Suletta got there. In that Suletta, her suspension is over because of 1 week has passed. And then you can see Miorine, Suletta here is apologizing, saying that what she said before was weird. And then Miorine asks her something, right? If I asked you to get rid of the Ariel, would you do it, right? But then you can see that Suletta here says she wouldn't because Ariel is her family, right? And she won't give up her family that easily. And this is where Miorine also gets her answer, right? She's trying to figure out who means the most to Suletta, and she assumes that's the Ariel, right? Because she won't give up the Ariel. Willingly, at least. It's almost your birthday, right? Suppose and how I'd like to celebrate. Suletta wants to celebrate a friend's birthday as part of her wish list. And then you can see here's where Suletta wants to get married to her. So yeah. And then better group front, we go back to Shadiq and the Pale group. Because you're negotiating with the kidnappers, you now think that you're his successor, right? Presidential race, I'll run for Gasly. I'd like to form a partnership with Pale, right? What's it for us? I will support Gundam as a new core business. She's like an arm into you. Since you developed the Fair Act secretly, right? In violation of the Cathedra agreement, the anti-Gundam thing can't be bad deal. We get the Ariel. Leave the sales plan that you can actually enjoy the benefits. How does Sirius feel? We'll never accept this. Council will stay silent. Bear them on the criticism, because they're Cathedra's biggest investor. Besides, isn't participation in the Gundam business what they want the most, right? Sirius won't be back, right? Isn't that what you mean? So in a way, that this shows that the Pale group acknowledges Shadiq's resolve, right, to take over from his adopted father, even to go all the lengths to do so. So yeah. Then we have Elan come in, right? And then you can see Suletta was hoping to be Miorine, and he enters, right? You can tell that he wants access to and he crosses without permission, right? The whole boundary thing is still prevalent here. He can come in here, and Elan pretty much is being way too pushy for his own good because he wants the Ariel on behalf of the Pale group. They say you like me, don't you, right? That case, right? You could tell that Suletta may have realized that this Elan's different than the other one, right? I don't like you, right? He gets a taser out. Elan this, Elan that, right? How irritating. The man you think of isn't here. So you could tell that he very much admits that the Elan number 4 is gone, right? But Suletta doesn't know that, right? She always assumed that he was, Elan number 4. But then she may have realized it here, but I can't really tell. And over Elan me immediately. This is where Guel comes in to save her. What are you doing to her? Look who's here, right? None other than the runaway prince. Can never figure out. What are you afraid of, right? So the thing is that all the Elans are afraid of something, right? But they also will go so far to achieve their goals. They give up who they are in exchange for what they want, right? Like, for example, Elan number 4. It's a little fuzzy, but I feel like what he just wanted was that he wanted to find some sort of relief from all the permit score pain, right? So that's why he wanted himself the area. But this guy, he only wants the aerial to, not for himself, but more to please the Pale group, right? His goals are different in mind, which also demonstrate that they're different people. And respectively, this guy, the Elan number 5 compared to Elan number 4 is also more cowardly. Because Elan number 4 is very much has some grit to him. Because he was calculating, but he was always, in a way, earnest. But this guy is cowardly, but also manipulative. So what this guy is scared of the most, Elan number 5, is that he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to lose his life. So he'll do whatever it takes to keep himself alive. Showing off just because there's a girl here. He goes with a taser, and then Guel, you can see, uses good old self-defense. He probably learned it from Olcott or from whatever background he has, right? If you ruin this place, no apology will get you off the hook, right? Then you can see Elan number 5 runs away with a tail between his legs. And then Miorine comes in and eavesdrop a bit. Thank you very much. And this is where Guel sort of recaps of what happened since he arrived. Lauda went behind Dad's back and held off his withdrawal. Re-enroll. Suletta apologizes for his father's, feels sorry for his father's death, right? But he's well aware of that, right? It's okay, I have a purpose now. Because what he wants now is he wants to rebuild the district company. That's his dream, right? Only thing that ties me to my father. Heard it's bad. I spoke to Lauda and we decided I'd take over as president. Company's on the brink. I don't want to lose any more of the things that are precious to me, right? Precious things, right? As soon as my re-enrollment is complete, I'll return to the company. Wanted to visit the school one more time. And apologize to everyone to her house. Why would you tell? And then, in a way, he is sort of telling her all his plans, right? And then Seletta's like, why are you telling all this to someone like me, right? Move forward, game 2, right? Finally understand how frightening it is to move forward. Because I was scared I kept running away from his father, but now I can move forward, you taught me how, right? So in a way, he's taking her advice, right? And also he is demonstrating incredible character growth. He's so much more mature than he was in season 1 because of his experiences. And Suletta, she didn't really do much, but she was still glad that she was able to help him, right? Because I love those words too. Glad that, and then here he confesses, right? I'm glad that was the part I fell for, of you that I fell for. He liked her earnestness, that she was honest to him, right? She's shocked here. Before you said you didn't like me at all, right? How can I put it, right? I was just embarrassed because, he's a cylinder, right? Don't get it. Well, I figure out because he's blushing here. I don't get it, right? He has such a cute face. And I'll say it again, right? I'm grateful to you. And then you're precious to me, right? See that Suletta really does acknowledge his feelings, but she doesn't really return them. She doesn't feel that way. Thank you so much. But I'm sorry, right? I too have someone precious to me now. So in a way, I'm pretty sure in this part she's referring to Miorine because she says now, right? When before the only two precious are with her mother and Ariel, right? And here she's only referring to one person, someone, right? So that one person is probably Miorine herself. But Miorine doesn't understand that because she thinks that Suletta's most precious person is Ariel, which is not completely wrong. But in this context, it's not what she's referring to. Nice to have someone you could say that about. Yeah. And here, Miorine, you can see that she misunderstands here. Miorine, and this is where Miorine comes in and says that what she wants for her birthday is a duel between Suletta and Guel, right? Give me a gift of victory. And then Guel's like, what the heck are you doing, right? Because Guel doesn't want to duel anymore. But then she tells him his plans. I'm going to run for president of the Benner Group. I want you and the Juturk company to support me. You can see that now because she was able to hear the conversation, she trusts him a lot more because he has had such an incredible growth, right? He's like, your company, you want to rebuild it, right? The Happens Group is sure to fully support the Juturk company. So you're telling me to win, right? I'm the same as you, right? I don't want to lose them. The things that are precious to me. So in a way, Miorine, her most precious person, like outside of her father, right, is Suletta herself. Which is why it's kind of tragic that they both, care. Who the most important person is each other. And Miorine at the moment doesn't realize that. Please, Juturk, right? And then you can see that they start the duel. It takes any losing like a dog, but yeah, here's where he has some backbone a little bit more than before, right? Trick emblem is a lion, right? So call me a lion, not a dog, right? What's the stake? Suletta wants the harassment of the Earth House because after the open campus, everyone Earth House was been treated like a criminal. The Juturk House would take her aside. That mean that they will be harassed less, right? So he agrees to that, and then if Guel wins, then he'll take the Ariel, right? And this is where Miorine makes Suletta agree, right? Because she's like, oh, you're going to just win anyway, right? So she's using Suletta's confidence against her. Sorry for what about Suletta, right? You really did like her, didn't you, right? I told her how I feel, plus there are more important things right now, right? So in a way, everyone is trying to they all have something they want to achieve, right? And they have their own precious things. Like Shadiq discard his feelings for Miorine in favor of getting power, right? And want to become president with the help of Grassley and Pale, right? Well, Miorine is trying to do the same, also become president and also help Suletta with the help of Juturk, right? What you said about her mother, right? It's true. Suletta doesn't question anything her mother says. She was only sent to the school to fight duels in the Ariel. Want that girl to be happy. She needs a world where she can be free from Gundams or anything else. And this is where Juturk's like, there's no such thing as that, right? One thing to ask, and what is it? Let me some scissors and clippers. So Guel's not going to haircut, but let's just wind back just a little bit. She needs world where she can be free from Gundam or anything else, right? So if you remember, Suletta is usually always compared to an unripe tomato, right? Well, everyone else is pretty much fully realized. Shadiq knows that he wants to remove the tensions between Earthians and Spacians and remove the inequality. After his father's death, Guel realizes for himself that he wants to help protect his family and respectfully protect his own house, right? And that's what he'll do instead of, romantic feelings, right? And Miorine here, she wants to protect Suletta and also remove her mother's influence from Suletta so Suletta can eventually decide things for herself, right? She doesn't want Suletta to always be a puppet. And respectfully also cares for her a lot too. Only person who hasn't had that growth yet is Suletta herself. So in a way, she has much to learn. And then also what I found interesting here is that you can see the Ariel here has only one wing, right? So I consider it to be like a clipped bird or like a one-wing angel, right? In a way, Suletta is already fighting with a broken machine. Because they say they couldn't repair anything. Mir's gone missing. It's okay. And then you can see that Suletta installed this app on her phone. It's very much a trap. And for you, right? Made preparations. Don't feel sorry for her. She was fired up and stuff. Can't believe you're saying that, right? Time comes, I'll give you the signal. Then you can see Guel gets a haircut here. It's also kind of interesting that he's the one who gets the haircut, because typically in these types of shows, right, usually it's the girl when she confesses to the like male lead, right, and it gets rejected, then she gets the haircut, right? So in a way, Guel doing it is kind of really like, it's kind of girly a little bit, but like it's also really refreshing at the same time because of that reversal of norms, because he's the one who's getting a haircut to show that not just that he was rejected, right, but also that he's playing and moving on from the past. In a way, you're freer from your burdens, which is the longer hair, and then you're feeling refreshed with the shorter one. You can see that here's where Guel still retains the AI. Can't leave it in. Pride alone won't defeat Suletta, right? And this is kind of cute. It's like, can find the timing and how far I've gone with him. That's kind of cute because it shows that this brown hair girl is dating Lauder, right? So it's kind of adorable. And then you can see that Guel is apologizing to his brother. As your older brother, I've never done anything for you. You can still count my support, right? Just like I told you when we first met. So in a way, what I feel is that because things are going so well with Guel, right? I feel like he has so many like death flags on. Like because things are going too well, something bad's definitely going to happen. I don't think it happens this episode, but I think it'll happen sometime in the future, where everything's going to go wrong. Because Guel has changed so much for the better, right? You ideally want him to do well, but I have this like gut feeling that something bad's going to happen to him. Then we go start the duel. You see that he still has his PTSD from the images of him killing his father appearing in his head, but he has learned to kind of live with it a bit more. Hasn't completely recovered though. But the duel. What's interesting here is that you see this girl says that she doesn't want to see more fighting, right? It's completely different when before in the school that obviously the whole school liked and celebrate the duels, but because of all the conflict that the school has had, students feel differently now. Guel hasn't changed. And no, his objective must be the restoration of the Jaturk company. Is this you're doing Miorine? And with this, where Shadiq is like, oh, Miorine, you're making your move now, right? And then they start the duel, right? And this is where you can see that his number 5 has failed, right? Because of it, he's sort of taking refuge with the Grasleys. He's with Norea, who's the terrorist. And then also Nika's there too. They're worried about you, Earthian friends. Predicted me during the Rumble Ring that the Gundams and Grassley must be in cahoots. Yep, because of Shadiq. I'm not welcome at Pale because, he failed. So they're all fugitives, let's be friends, right? Why not get a Gundam and die? Being killed by you, dying in a Gundam isn't part of my plans, and dying in a Gundam, right? So this is where Nika started to realize how dangerous Gundams are, when before she only, idolized them a lot. So in a way, everyone is slowly growing. And then we get the start of the duel. So Guel's still dealing with his PTSD because he always sees his father's mobile suit in Suletta's aerial, right? Because you can see this is his father's mobile suit. But you could tell that when he's desperate, right? He'll have no choice but to activate or use the AI, right? So this is where he activates it. And you can tell he's doing all these desperate moves, but he's still trying to pilot, right? What was that move? And then you can see everyone's trying to support him. That thing, right? But the problem is that you can see here's where he's trying to use some controls, right? But once he activated the AI is in control, so he actually is not doing anything. In a way, the robot is fighting as it is. And you can see that Ariel is like activating again. It's taking control over his gun bits to go against him. It's called an override, right? Where he has to defend himself from them. And you see that I promised, right, for Miorine's birthday, right? Promise I'd win. And you can tell that you can see that she's going through different like activation, right? Like she had red before, now it's blue. Before it's just blue, and now it's white. I don't know what this means though. I just don't know if like Eri is like ascending or something, or somehow they're like even more refused than before. It feels like it's some sort of additional phase to Ariel's growth. You can see that because Prospera has that haptic feed in her helmet. You see that now this is like the activation to make the trap, activate the trap. So that's to stay by her side forever. Now it's my turn to ask her that, right? We'll buy rings together and have a wedding. The very best dresses you could see. Also that Miorine is shaking because she's, hesitant, right? Like she doesn't want to do this, but sometimes you have to, right? And then also Eri had the upper hand for almost the entire time. And so please choose me, right? And then what's important here is that you can see that Eri apologizes to Suletta herself because she knows that the trap has been put into her phone, right? She knows what it is. But she also knows that she has to follow orders and respectfully. She also knows this is best for Suletta, so she allowed it to happen. I'm sorry, right? And then the trap is activated, and then the aerial shuts down. And because of that, Guel is able to win at the very end. Nobody expected this because Ariel's won the entire time, but now Guel has won. Can't be true, right? What do I do? Even though it's for Miss Miorine's birthday, and the promise I'd win, right? So, and then she, you can see Celeste telling her that Ariel stopped moving, and she knows, right? Because she's the one who stopped it, right? She admits that because she wanted her to lose. That's a lie, right? I told her from the beginning. This is a trade, right? One thing for another. You make a good shield. But then you can't fulfill your obligations if you lose, right? So where you can see Suletta wants to duel. She wants to do Guel again, so then take that back as well. And now you can see that Miorine takes back the holder status from Suletta. Thank you for your hard work. Goodbye. American Country and Bumpkin, right? So in a way, it's very much a reversal of the very first episode. When Suletta initially gained everything, but now Suletta has very much a very, very hard fall from grace. Because as they say, the higher you go, the harder you fall. So I'm hoping that for the next episode, there'll be a lot more character growth, as the next episode is narrated by Suletta, titled Our Empty Selves, right? Because currently, Suletta, without the Ariel or her mother's influence, right? Without both of those things, all that she has is herself. And because she was always obeying her mother very blindly, and was, pretty much treated as like this puppet, right? She doesn't know what she wants for herself. She can't think for herself. So in a way, this is very much the opportunity for Suletta to grow, whether for better or for worse. Whether she grows like, in a way, Guel did after tragedy, or whether she will go crazy because of everything that she cared about was taken away from her, or whether she'll even enter like this rage, for example, or instead go into an incredible form of grief. It's really hard to say, but we'll see. So I'm just hoping that I don't know. I'm hoping that Suletta will start getting her growth, and I hope that Guel will be okay. But I've just a gut feeling that Guel is eventually going to suffer again, because as they say, nice guys end up last. So I'm a little worried about him, but regardless, we will continue watching to see what happens. But yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything.